Good evening, I'm Brett Baer. We're coming to you tonight from Los Angeles. We'll talk about the dynamic politics here in California and speak with the top Republican in the governor's race so far in just a few minutes. First tonight, though, President Trump going after the Russia collusion investigation again. He says the FBI has been caught in a major scandal, potentially one of the biggest political uproars in history, according to the president. Chief White House correspondent John Roberts starts us off this evening from the North Lawn. Good evening, John.
Brett, good evening to you. His critics say President Trump is overstating the case when he claims that his campaign may have been spied on. But that's not even slowing the president, who is on a fast boil about what he says could be a huge political scandal. Leaving the White House today, President Trump let fly on what he is now calling Spygate.
It looks like a very serious event, but we'll find out. When they look at the documents, I think people are going to see a lot of bad things happen. I hope it's not so, because if it is, there's never been anything like it in the history of our country.
President Trump claims the FBI may have been spying on his campaign after a confidential informant had contact and meetings with 3 Trump campaign officials: Carter Page, George Papadopoulos, and Sam Clovis. In a meeting Monday, President Trump told Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein and FBI Director Christopher Wray to work out how they could get documents related to the informant and the FISA request to surveil Page to congressional investigators.
We now call it Spygate. You're calling it Spygate. A lot of bad things have happened. I want them all to get together. They'll sit in a room. Hopefully they'll be able to work it out among themselves.
At that meeting tomorrow, House Intelligence Committee Chairman Devin Nunes, Government Oversight Chairman Trey Gowdy, Ed O'Callaghan from the Department of Justice, FBI Director Christopher Wray, and Director of National Intelligence Dan Coates. No Democrats invited. The Senate Minority Leader today insisted Congressman Nunes is trying to interfere with the Russia investigation and put the blame for that squarely on Paul Ryan's shoulders.
Speaker Ryan is allowing this to happen. It will forever be a blot on his record. He can't be so afraid of the hard right and the president that he would allow this kind of banana republic behavior to go forward.
Congressman Gowdy today said it's okay with him if Democrats attend.
I don't care who comes. I'm not in control of the invite list. If you're going to show up with an open mind and closed lips. In other words, don't leak like a sieve when we get through with the meeting.
The accusations of Spygate exploded as President Trump was on his way to Long Island in a law enforcement roundtable on the murderous gang MS-13. President Trump in a lather about Democrats' criticism of his use of the word animals to describe gang members.
Democrats, Nancy Pelosi as an example, are trying to defend MS-13 gang members. I called them animals the other day, and I was met with rebuke. They said, they're people. They're not people. These are animals.
And as North Korea took journalists on a tour of the nuclear test site it says it is closing down, President Trump again suggested the date for a summit might slide.
Someday a date will absolutely happen. It could very well be June 12th. We'll see. We'll know next week.
And late today, President Trump also weighed in on the NFL owners' decision to require players who are on the sidelines to stand for the national anthem. The president telling our Brian Kilmeade in an interview to air on Fox and Friends tomorrow that he is happy with the NFL's decision, but not particularly happy about the fact that the owners will give the players the opportunity, or at least the option, of riding out the national anthem in the locker room. Brett?
We'll have a story on that a little bit later, and maybe even the sound from the president from that interview. John, there is some reporting tonight that the White House is considering opening up that meeting to possibly Democrats as well. The classified intelligence briefing maybe pushing it down a little bit further from this Thursday.
Chuck Schumer has been stating in the last 24 hours that he thinks that this should be handled by the so-called Gang of Eight leadership in Congress. There had not been any move toward that, but if this report is correct, Brett, there could be some move to get the Gang of Eight involved. So that would be in addition to Chairman Nunes and Chairman Gowdy. We'll run some traps on it, and we'll get back to you just as soon as we can.
John Roberts reporting from the White House. John, thanks.